So, welcome back to Into the Infinityverse, where I talk about things in the Infinityverse, the shared fanfiction universe that my friend Jason Voorhees 2011 and I do together. And basically, this video is more of this video is going to be interesting because I'm going to be talking about basically a new series we're going to be doing. And yes, I know people. I'm already going to be hearing in the comments, well, why aren't you finishing this or that? It's fanfiction. We're not getting paid for this, so we're not. We're not like on a time schedule, and B, we have our own fucking lives. Cut us some frickin' slack. It's just me and Jason, and on occasion it'll be a fellow writer we usually ask to come share the workload for us. And also, it's also like, I know a lot of people said, like, how much continuity are you packing in here? Well, honestly, I think we've been very good on continuity. It's not like we've, skipped ahead to the next event. Like, we're still working on Dark Phoenix, which I've said multiple times that, I've written the other, like, few chapters into the next arc. It's just, this chapter is so massive because it's the end of the Act 1, so we're trying to do all that. And, yeah, we are still working, and this is the second Savages title going on right now at this time. Like, yeah, there's still Savages Multiverse, and I swear there's a continuity reason as to why that is. There is, like, a legit continuity reason as to why there are two Savages title. Because initially it was supposed to be Savages was like one, and then we go on to the next one. Here, it's like, well, the thing about Savages is that the team can be made up of multiple characters. It's not like a set team like the Infinity League or a set team like future other teams. The Savages line is more or less, multiple team members. Like it's the one team out of all the ones he created in the Infinityverse where it's the most malleable, the one that has always been like an ever changing, like, revolving door. For all the characters. It's been one that has constantly, and I do stress, constantly been changing for the most part. So we're going to be talking about this title, and that is Savages Reign in Hell. So what is Savages Reign in Hell? Basically, this is a new story that brings together a totally different team and goes on during the events of Dark Phoenix and Savages Multiverse, because the Savages Multiverse is happening in the multiverse and Dark Phoenix is on Earth. This story, as you can probably guess, this story takes place in Hell, like directly in Hell. Now, I have done a video, but for those who haven't seen that, in our version of the Infinityverse, there's only one heaven, one hell. There's no multiple heavens or multiple versions of the multiverse. It's just there's one heaven, one hell. That's it. And they're all connected to the multiverse. So that's why in the multiverse you see, like, so many characters that are from the multiverse. Like, you see, like, in the Angel Dust and Tom team up I wrote, you saw Grievous in there. You saw General Grievous in there. Or, Khan from Star Trek is in there. Queen Beryl's in Hell. Well, she's part of Earth, but still. Like, the point is that there are so many different characters in Hell, and we do have as a baseline the version of Hell from Has-Been Hotel / Hell of a Boss. So yeah, that's the kind of Hell we use. Heaven's going to be a little more malleable. I don't know if we'll go, like, the route for using that version of Heaven that whatever we see in Has-Been Hotel / Hell of a Boss. I don't know if we'll use that version of Heaven. But for right now, we're just focusing on Hell. Right now, we're just kind of focusing on Hell and using that as the landscape for the most part. So this story has been kind of like a culmination of a few things that we've been building up for a little bit. Like a few things. It's not really a culmination, but more like the next step of what we've been doing in Hell. Basically, for those who don't know, in our continuity, like I said, we're using the Has-Been Hotel version of Hell, and Lucifer is still the ruler of hell, but Charlie is created the Has-Been Hotel to redeem lost souls. And as you can imagine, that's kind of raised some concerns as well as some ire among the other lords of hell. And among those is a certain high priest of hell, and that being Pinhead from the Cenobites. So Pinhead has been more or less consolidating like a lot of allies in hell, like Calypso from Twisted Metal, and some other hell lords, some other notable hell lords. And he's more or less sowing the scenes for like a revolt in hell to take power, because now he believes that Lucifer is too weak to run hell. He's basically like, this is the final straw, because he's kind of like Lucifer allowing his daughter to basically commit what is blasphemy in hell by allowing these damned souls to have a chance to escape their eternal punishment. That's not how this is supposed to work. So Pinhead is more or less been consolidating power, and this is his first, this story is basically his first firing salvo, his first big plan to kill Lucifer and take it out. The whole thing is that it's I'm gonna try an assassination attempt, and then the plan is he's gonna send in assassins. He's gonna send in assassins. They'll kill Lucifer. He'll take over, and then his allies that he's been conspiring with will legitimize his rule, because he's the high priest of hell. He would be a worthy successor, and no one's gonna even though Lucifer still has allies, other old hell lords who will probably back Charlie because she is the chosen heir. He'll still have she's not a threat to me, I can take her out, but taking out Lucifer and Lilith first is kind of the big deal that he has to get through first. So, but here's the thing, he's not hiring in hell. He's basically gone through the multiverse and is now collected a team of assassins to try to kill him, to try to kill Lucifer so he can take over. And it never hurts to outsource. It never hurts to outsource your assassination on the Lord of Lies. Never does. Now, as for who's on the team, there are some surprises. I do want to keep it vague. But this is probably the most brutal, most irredeemable sons of bitches we have brought together. These are probably the most Savages. The first Savages story, which I was writing, that one had tortured souls and not really people you could consider villains. It's not really people you could see as major villains. Now, in Multiverse, there are some people who are pretty bad and irredeemable, but there are some people who are looking for redemption and looking to and there are good people, but they are a gray area, or they're willing to compromise and do the right thing. But in Reign in Hell, in this story, these are some of the most awful, save for one, and even then that's one or two, three tops, maybe three tops. And even then, two of them are pretty questionable. This is probably the most vile, most aggressive, most these are some dangerous people. Like I said, there are a few people in here that you could make the argument and can make the argument that they're not that bad. Two, maybe three tops. But for the most part, these guys are, a lot of them are just not good. They are here, and Pinhead, rather than offering them money, is basically going to be offering them each something grander. Now, I'm not going to say what that is, but if you're being sent to kill the devil, you can probably guess what that is. You can probably assume what what Pinhead is offering, and what these assassins will do, and why they'll take Pinhead's offering. But you're gonna see a lot of characters in here. This is gonna be probably the most violent of the Savages story, so this is definitely gonna earn the M rating. You're gonna see some of the most violent characters in here, and some characters who are in hell. You're gonna see some returning characters that have been dead for a while, and they're in hell for a reason. So you're gonna see some of these characters, like shall we say, reunite with some old souls, for better or for worse. But yeah, like I said, Pinhead is offering them each something that they can't refuse. It's not money. It's not like, it's not something malleable. It's something that all sinners want. And yeah, these guys are going to go for it, for better or for worse. Also, I'm also going to, without going too far into detail, Savage's Reign in Hell is going to be a major shake-up story. Like, as I've said multiple times, the Infinityverse, there is no the status quo is there is no status quo. It's not like Marvel or DC where it's like, yeah, we've kind of changed some things, but it's back to status quo. You know, good old status quo. Here in the Infinityverse, when something happens, it takes a lot to go back to that, and even then, it's not the same. Like, if there's a death, usually it's going to be permanent, and even if a character comes back, they're not the same person. There is a lot of like death is kind of permanent. The effects of what happens in Savage's Reign in Hell is going to be like a big thing for the Infinityverse. Like, I'm going to say right now, this is going to have some major lasting effects for the Infinityverse by the end of it. So, stay tuned for that. As of this recording, the first chapter is almost done. I'm almost done helping to write the prologue. I'm also going to be writing a lot more of chapter 1, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, Jason's been working a lot more on Dark Phoenix. I've kind of worked, but this is why we're doing, but he really wanted to do Reign in Hell, and also we're going to get back to Savage's Multiverse. That story, I think we're going to wrap up and more or less balance between the two. Also, if you're wondering where this takes place, this is basically, you're also wondering what's Pinhead's whole thing? Like, why did Pinhead choose now? Because the Cosmic Council is kind of busy with multiverse, and what better way to mess with the balance when no one's looking, right? Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much all I can say about Savage's Reign in Hell. Get ready to check it out and get ready to go to hell. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.